Hi guys, this is Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner. Today I'm going to show you how I created this lovely watering can pop-up three-dimensional card. This is the new Amazing Paper Grace die of the month for the month of April 2022, and you guys got to pick that this was going to be the first project that I made out of the new club kits. I did do an unboxing a couple of days ago, so check out that video here. But what I'm doing today is I'm pulling some of the footage from that video to condense it down so that it's easier for you guys to manage and see what's going on. I mean, it's going to be a better one for me to go back and reference, to be sure, to show how I put the can itself together, and then I'm also tacking on where I put on all of the pretty flowers, and then you get to see the finished product and how I got that all put together. So if you want to see the long version, the real-time version of putting together this pretty little watering can, be sure to check out that the replay of that live stream. So let's go ahead and get started on putting together this card. Okay, so we are at 75% wanting the watering can, so I guess that's the one I'm going to attempt. And I think I want to do it with some silver, just because it's a watering can, right? Okay, so this is a sticky grid, and I've got it adhered down to one of my thinner plates. I believe this one is one of my Sizzix plates. So what I'm going to do with this is really good if you're wanting to do multiples. And just remember, I have just tried this out today. Today is pretty much my first time doing it. So, but I'm going to go ahead and put that in place, and it worked out really good for all the stuff that I was doing. I think what I want to emboss that into the metal a little bit, and the same thing there. And this is going to hold all the pieces pretty much in place. This piece is the one that makes for the side so that we can basically cut it. We can basically make it into a 3D, and let me get the comment back down so you guys can see. So usually you need to tape this in place so that it doesn't shift, but the sticky grid's going to keep it in place. Then I'll put my magic mat on top, so it's going to cut into the magic mat. And then place my other thicker plate on top, and then I'm going to run it through my Gemini Junior. Or you can, of course, do this through your Spellbinders 6. I've got it sitting off to the side too. Let's see how it looks. And one of the things that I don't know is you can't really tell really well whether or not it's going to pop out real easy, but that one did. Look how pretty. Oh, that is so nice. And then we've got the little handle. And then one trick I figured out while I was playing and making those other cards was using some low-tack tape to pull them out of the dies, and that works perfect. So with these guys, let's start with that. This is the pretty side, and this one is the not so pretty side. You can see kind of some of the marks on there from my board. So I'm going to basically be folding this away from the pretty side on that score line. So I'm folding it down like that, and I'm going to do the same thing on this other side. And then do the same thing on the other piece. Then I'm going to take one of, this is one of my heavyweight ones. I'm going to take one of my heavyweight ones, and I'm going to put it in. I have to remember I said pretty side out, right? So we're going to slide it in to one of the slots. I think I'll start with the one in the back. So you slide it into the slot. Okay. So it's going to be able to basically fold flat. Your card's still going to be able to fold flat. Okay. So for these, I am going to adhere them down on top of my lightweight white cardstock. And I am going to speed things up a little bit. So this is some Beacon Value Adhesive Spray, and I got this at Dollar Tree months ago. So much, and it's been long enough that it was really hard for me to get it to spray at all. It didn't want to do anything. And that is probably too much. To me, it just feels kind of like, it smells like Elmer's, and it just feels like, you know, like watered down Elmer's glue. Okay, but that is good on that one. And next, I am going to cut off these little tabs. So I am going to glue this one on the front of this tab. I believe it goes right about there. And turn it over and do the same thing on this side. And then glue this one on to that little tab. So now we have silver on the front and silver on the back. Okay, so I think before I get started on the other end, I'm going to go ahead and start adhering these little guys on. I actually have 5. I probably should have adhered one before I adhere this down. Oh, it'll work. Okay, put that one in there. And then let's see if this one has set too much for me to be able to slide it in. Nope, I'm able to still get it. Awesome. And then add a little bit of adhesive back here and put that to the top. Okay, so while that is trying to adhere on those two, I'm going to go ahead and start putting some of these in place on this side, I think. And of course now I just had an idea as to how to make it so that it does. I am adhering this piece now. It's going to be adhered to the metal and to that little white piece. So now the white piece isn't going to be able to pop out again. Okay, and then grab my tweezers to hold it on there. And of course now I realize I didn't do it all the last one, but I think I'm not gonna, because that kind of looks good. It has that little bit, is where the spout is just a little bit from the edge, so it looks like it's supposed to be in the middle of your can. So that is going to be good. And then all I need to do now is add adhesive here. Fold it flat. You know something I didn't do yet? I didn't put the little pieces in the end though. Okay, so for this one, I think I'm going to cut that out of some black. And I don't want to waste any of this stuff that is too pretty. Love, love, love that silver. Okay. So put that one down. I think it's so fun that I figured out how to get this stuff out of there, because I had the hardest time getting the first few to come out of the dies using that. Words are hard. Sorry guys, I don't know what I'm saying. Get all the little bits poked out of there real quick. You would love it. And the convention center is about 45 minutes, I think, from where I live, so I'm going to be going to that, to NAMTA from here. So that's going to be kind of cool. So I'm just putting some across the back. I know some of the glue is going to seep through, but the art glitter glue does dry matte and clear, so that's good. Okay. Set that aside to try to let it dry a little bit before I start putting it onto the other piece of metal. I love the way that I mean, you can't really see it because it's so shiny. It is basically blinding, you guys. But yeah, I do like the way that it turned out. It does take a bit of work, and I know that some of you guys have said that you think I have so much patience. It's like, no, I am just chatting with you guys while I play. And it doesn't have to be metal. I just decided to do this first one in metal, because of course I think of a, oh, that is perfect. And now that I see it, I'm thinking that you could go, instead of just doing the black, you could do basically any color and have it coordinate with other pieces of your card, because that's kind of the part that's to be painted on the inside of that nozzle, and it really gives it a really good 3D look. I love, love, love it. Next, I'll move on to the flowers. I cut out all of the pieces, including that interesting stem piece, and I'm folding those in half, and then I'm going to put some glue right down the center so that it adheres to itself. Basically what you're doing is you're adhering it down so it's a double layer of cardstock, and that helps it so that it doesn't, I don't know, fold over or fall when you put the heavier flower on the end. Next, I'll start assembling the flowers. There's this one that has got almost like stick-like petals, I guess, that I'm putting on top of the one that's larger with rounded petals. Then I'm putting the little yellow piece that is the center right on top. Now, I cut multiples. I basically cut like one of everything out of several different colors, so I've got lots of different flowers. I'll have a little bit of variety there. I also cut out a bunch of the leaves so that I can decorate it up a little bit more once I get the flowers in place. So I'm just adhering one of each of those flowers to the end of the stems, and I wanted to check it out to see how high I really need it. So I'm thinking that I probably can use each of those stem pieces for 2 of the flowers, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere one of the flowers to each end. After assembling all the flowers, I'm now cutting the stems so that I can position them in different heights. Now, this isn't something that I feel like I'm an expert at. I'm still kind of just playing around with it and experimenting, but I do think that it turned out pretty cute. There's also, at the top of that can, there is a slit, basically so you could slide these little pieces in, or whatever you decide to decorate your little can with. So I am trying putting a couple of shorter ones up in the front and longer ones in the back, and in the end I kind of just put things everywhere. I'm not sure if this is the way that you should do when it comes to doing any kind of flower arranging, but I do think that it turned out cute in the end. Now that I've got all the flowers in, I'm adding a few little leaves around to add a little bit of greenery to my little flower can full of flowers. I think that the greenery just adds that little extra something on the end. I'm not going to add any additional bling to this though. The shininess of that can is just almost, I think it basically we would take away from that if we were to add anything more than just the flowers and the leaves. So this is going to finish up this card. Thank you guys for dropping in, and if you'd like to see another video where I'm using some other Spellbinders products, be sure to check out this playlist over here. You guys have a wonderful day, and remember, if I can make it, you can too.